Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's special council meeting, at which we will approve our 2016 budget. And I turn it over to you, Mr. Finance and Corporate Services Committee Chair Scott Davey. Over to you. Yeah, to bring forward the report.
Okay, I am happy to bring forward the report of Finance and Corporate Services, seconded by Councillor Marsh.
Okay, thank you. I have a couple speakers. Councillor Singh.
Yeah, just wanted to request if you could have number 4 and 5 voted separately, as well as number 12 to again acknowledge the conflicts I had pointed out in the committee.
Okay, I will deal with those separately. Councillor Fernandez.
Yeah, I'd like number 9 voted on separately, please.
Okay. Councillor Gazzola.
I want all of them voted on separately.
Councillor Gazzola, is that really necessary? Okay, if that's what you want, I'll do that. Okay, Councillor Yanetsky.
Yeah, I have a conflict with the community orchestra. I'm not too sure under which section it falls in.
It's under community grants. We dealt with those separately at committee.
So
all we approve here is the overall. No, all we do here is approve the overall budget, I believe, amount. So I don't think you need to, declare a conflict. I mean, it's up to you, but I don't think you need to because it's only the budget amount, not that specific grant that we're dealing with today.
And that's already been dealt with.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So. With that, I will, I guess, start with number 1. Recorded vote has been, a separate vote has been requested. You want them recorded as well? Okay. It's putting staff through a lot of work. Yep. So we're dealing with number 1. Okay, all those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. We'll now deal with number 2. Sorry? Oh, can somebody put these sheets up so that, or give copies to, probably put them on the screen so the viewing audience can see them as well?
Impact.
Yes. Okay, so all those in favor? Number 2. That's carried unanimously. We'll now move on to number 3, the enterprises. And all of these have been moved by Councillor Davey and seconded by Councillor Marsh. We'll now deal with number 3 with the slight amendment on the parking enterprise numbers. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. We'll now deal with number 4, the water and sanitary sewer rates. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Number 5, stormwater rates. All those in favor? Councillor Ioannidis, the process is to stand up. Just raise your hand, please. That is carried. Oh, sorry, opposed? Thank you. That's carried. Moving on to item number 6, with the adjustments as were noted earlier by staff. I think it was just to the economic development one. Well, a couple of them, economic development and parking enterprise. Somebody need to vote? All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. We'll now go on to item number 7, which is Kitchener Public Library and Center in the Square, with the amended wording. And that's carried unanimously. I've been asked to take the doctor and specialist recruitment separately on the grants. That's fine, so I'll deal with those first. So the doctor and specialist recruitment. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. And the balance of the economic grants? All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried.
Take the gas distribution technician separate, please.
The gas distribution technician separately, okay. We'll deal with that first then. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. The balance of the positions? All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. I've been asked that they're all separate. Number 10? Sorry. Number 10. This is the mileage. That's carried unanimously. Number 11, the per diem rates. That's carried unanimously. Number 12, Paul, Councillor Singh, rather, do you want to click in? You have a conflict?
Yes, just the described conflicts in the committee.
Okay, so I'll deal with the ones that you had a conflict in first. That's carried unanimously with the noted conflict. Excuse me. The balance of the report. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Now number 13. With respect to capital out of current funding. Oh, sorry. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Number 14. Debenture financing. That's carried unanimously. Number 15. That's carried unanimously. Number 16. That's carried unanimously. Number 17. That's carried unanimously. Number 18. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Number 19. And that's carried unanimously. So that would take us through all of the recommendations. Before I make my closing comments, I'll let you make yours. Councillor Davey.
Thank you. I just wanted, I think it's important at this point to acknowledge the work of staff and the budget process, from the people in finance to each individual area of the city. It's unfortunate somewhat that this budget was overshadowed by the, I would say, quite necessary increases in water, sewer, sanitary. But I think, as I mentioned in my earlier comments, the water and sanitary, those areas there's a very limited ability for staff to affect the rates there. I won't go into the arguments. I think we made them earlier, but I do want to point out that the real part that staff can control is the levy increase. And coming in at 1.46%, we are, again, and I'm not even sure how many years in a row, we have been the leader in terms of the lowest tax rate increase in the region and among the lowest in the province. And that speaks to the efficiency in our finances and our services. And I think staff's to be acknowledged for that achievement, and council and committee are to be acknowledged for that achievement. And it is a direct result of the mandate from the people that we have in that respect. So I think this was a very positive budget. It does not cut services in any areas. It maintains the services that we have and even replaces some big pieces of infrastructure, like the Kiwanis Park pool, for example, which is a huge capital expense that we managed to incorporate in without necessarily raising taxes far beyond the rate of inflation. So I'd like to acknowledge everyone involved. Thank you.
Councillor Fernandez, you have an item of new business?
I wanted to make comments.
Okay, go ahead.
You know, we heard both in the KW Record editorial as well as through numerous emails and phone calls that I've received that just because citizens did not come and fill up the gallery, that doesn't mean that citizens don't care. I think it's important to recognize that there is a level of apathy within our citizens. The reasons why, I wouldn't want to start guessing. I don't think that's fair. But I would strongly encourage any resident who is watching today to understand that your voice is very important, and that although you will see that council has approved the budget, it's also important to understand that not every councillor supported every component of this budget. And I think that it is unfortunate that we have increased water, sanitary, and storm rates today. And I do believe we will be hearing from a number of residents who are going to be struggling and challenged to pay that amount. The tax rate is not going to offset that cost and that impact.
Okay, any other comments? Councillor Yanetsky.
Yeah, thank you. I thought there'd be other people speaking, but I guess I'm next. I did support a number of the items that's in the report as we went through them point by point, and others I didn't. I know the biggest impact will be on the utility rates, and I know we're dealing with, basically we're dealing with opium here, OPM, other people's money, and that's the taxpayers' money, and they won't be happy in how some of it will be allocated, and they'll have to take it out of both pockets maybe this time. So I find it's going to be a challenge for them. Of course, when you look at their standard of living here in community is pretty good, but also when you look at the debt load that not the taxpayer but the regular person has out there, being 1.64 of their assets, they're pretty much in the hole. But I think by the increases that we have here with our taxes and some of the other items will help, but it's not the full package that they would have received. So we probably did our best, and everybody's got their own opinion as to how best it is, but it is what it is.
Any other comments? Councillor Ioannidis.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Verbanovich. I think the only comment that I want to mention is it pretty well sums up our budget on the final page of our package, final -17. And the reality is it's showing that our ratepayers actually is paying less than they did last year. And I think that's a message that hasn't been well put out.
Any other comments? Councillor Galloway-Seelock.
Yeah, I just quickly wanted to also take the opportunity to thank staff for all their hard work. I know each year you do a great amount of work that spans many, many months to get us to this point. It's not just finance staff, but everyone across the corporation. So thank you for that and for following council's direction and bringing us in at a budget that's really close to the rate of inflation. So a tremendous kudos to you for that. There were some harsh realities that did come forward in this year's budget, and we had to make those tough decisions today. Not everyone's going to be happy with them, but I think there are some bright shining stars that come out of this year's budget. And some of them have already been suggested with regards to the actual levy impact, which our taxpayers can't affect, but where we did have to do some significant increases, everyone has the opportunity to decrease their usage where they can. I don't think anybody around this horseshoe liked having to do that, but those are the realities of what we're facing not only in this municipality but across the province and across Canada with regards to aging infrastructure. So I think it's just important to note that everyone here today wanted to do the best that they thought was possible for the taxpayers of Kitchener and the ratepayers.
Councillor Singh. Oops, sorry.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just wanted to quickly say that I am satisfied, I guess, essentially where we've landed for the tax levy increase. It is very, very near to the rate inflation. So I think we've met a commitment to our citizens who have said over and over again, loud and clear, that they would want tax levy increases at or near or below the rate of inflation. And I think we met that mandate that many of us had campaigned on as well. One thing that I wish had gone differently is the increases to our utility. I want to take a moment to thank staff. I think it's a daunting task to prepare a budget and at the same time set recommendations that, it's not the job of staff to make the tough decisions. Their job is to lay the groundwork and lay a reasonable, the plan as to, where the investments need to be. And it's clear, and I'm not going to argue against that investments to our infrastructure aren't necessary. I've agreed in the past, and I will continue to agree that they do need to be made. I just wish that we had taken somewhat a more softer position on the utility rate increases, especially based on some of the market environments that we could have taken advantage of. I think it is becoming increasingly difficult for our seniors and those that are on restricted incomes to be able to meet their cost of living, and that's what we need to continue to be cognizant of. And I think we try to do the best that we can, but I think the pressure is on us to ensure that somehow that we can continue trying to balance the need to invest and at the same time keeping those on the fringe to keep them in mind of their level of affordability.
Any other comments? Only once? Twice? Not, then I'll make mine. I too want to begin by thanking staff for all of the work that's gone into this budget. Obviously, the brunt of that work rests with Mr. Chapman, Mr. Hagee, and their teams, but it's work that exists throughout the entire organization, an organization led by our CAO, Mr. Wilmer. And literally, it's a process that will start not too long from now to start working on the 2017 budget. And so it is a daunting task, but a very important task, because it's one that takes the dreams and aspirations of our citizens, as reflected in our strategic plan and in our corporate work plan, and allows those to come into fruition through the budget. I also want to thank Councillor Davey for his leadership as chair of the Finance Committee. I know this is probably one of the more challenging processes to chair throughout the course of the year, and I want to thank you for the great job that you did. At the end of the day, I think we came up with a budget that balances affordability and sustainability. It's one that came in with a tax increase in the range of inflation, saw our gas rates decrease by approximately 19% or $160 per household, saw some increases that needed to happen in terms of our sewer, water, and storm water utilities, but investments that were necessary to ensure we weren't putting the burden onto future generations. And all that, once taken into account, still resulted in us being able to have an overall impact on the average household in the community that will see a decrease in the range of $50+ for the average household in the community. And all in all, while we've done that, we've also been able to make significant capital investments. And I look at things such as additional funding for neighborhood festivals, which will go to from 21,000 to 30,000 in 2016 and 40,000 in 2017. Increasing community gardens by 50,000 in 2016. An opportunity to leverage the Canada 150 grant money from the federal government to see us take Wi-Fi to additional locations throughout the city, and in a significant way to be able to move forward with the Southwest recreational amenities in the coming years by moving them up in the budget for an area of the city that is significantly underserviced right now. So I think it is, well, without a doubt, there have been some challenges, and as some have said, not everyone will be happy about it. I do think it is one that it is a budget that has, as I said, balanced affordability and sustainability, and overall adds to the quality of life for the residents of our community. So thank you to everyone. Our staff from clerks, who I know have a diligent job in doing all of this, as well as our media partners who help communicate this message and engage the community in this issue. So with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Moved by Councillor Davey, seconded by Councillor Schneider. Thank you. Someone want to move 3 readings? Moved by Councillor Singh, seconded by Councillor Fernandez. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. And as I said earlier, Councillor Davey Schneider for adjournment. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Thank you very much.